Okay.
Man, you're putting a lot of pressure on me here.
To all these people.
I know, this is a big crowd.
All right, we are ready to go.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to AmpUp88.com. I'm Jeff Gluck from SBNation.com. This is Steve Letarte. He's the crew chief of the 24 team, and we're happy to have you with us. And actually, there's a lot of people with us. You may not be able to see them all. We can see lots of people. We're here at the Hendrick Motorsports Tweet Up right now. We're coming to you live from there. People are taking pictures of us and making us nervous. So
I know.
Hopefully you guys will give us good questions out there in Junior Nation so that we don't have to like sweat it out up here too much. But anyway, before we get started, just want to remind you guys of a few things about the site. Steve, I don't know if you visit the site, but every single day they give away a Dale Jr. autographed item. So if you're looking for a Dale Jr. autograph, there's a giveaway there.
Hey, Christmas is coming. I need some good Christmas presents. So I'll take a Dale Jr. autograph item.
Also, you could follow TJ Majors, who's over here and will be with us shortly on Twitter from there. And there's an off-the-track video series. Donnie Floyd this week is talking about how they decal the cars and all that stuff. So you can go check that out. Next week we'll be chatting with Mike Davis, who's the Junior Motorsports Director of Communication. That's at 6 p.m. on June 2nd. But right now our trifecta chat, 3 people today.
Wow.
Yeah, that's 2 more than ever before. so yeah. Anyway, we're here with Steve Letarte, so we already have some questions coming in.
All right.
I'm going to pick one out. This is from a fan that's here at the HMS Tweet Up somewhere, has asked us, what was your scariest, most stressful moment to date in racing?
My scariest, most stressful moment in racing, Pocono, 2007. We failed a brake rotor going down into turn 1, and Jeff had one of the worst wrecks I've seen really in a long time. And we didn't get upside down, but the car took a real vicious hit, especially on the driver's side. So, I asked him if he was okay, and he knocked the wind at him, so he couldn't answer. That was probably the scariest moment. Just overall, we're really good friends. We've been in competition together a long time, and at that moment, I was really confident everything was going to be okay. So that by far was probably the low point of it all.
Yeah, that was. I remember that wreck. I mean, that gets replayed all the time, so you know it's a bad wreck.
It does. It kind of took my breath away a little bit. I've been around racing a long time. That's one of the few wrecks that really kind of got my attention.
Yeah. I guess from Internet Land, we'll say, well, we have 2 places, Internet Land and Tweet Up Land here.
All right.
So, Sun VGG wants to know, do you ever wonder what it would be like to swap spots with Jeff?
No, I guess I don't. I've seen racing my entire life from one dimension, and that's from a fan or a crew chief standpoint, never really from in a race car. So I do wonder sometimes what it would be like in certain situations. But, man, he can have all the fame and all the headaches that go with it. I think he does a tremendous job with the fans, tremendous job with the sponsors, but I'm a really simple guy. I kind of like my life.
Yeah, well, you're a celebrity in your own right, though. Don't people recognize you?
At the Tweet Up, I'm a celebrity.
Okay.
But no, I'm pretty well under the radar. I like it that way.
You weren't under the radar necessarily last week in the All-Star race. There was an incident there. Andrew Westland is wondering, what changes are you guys making in order to catch the 48 after the All-Star race?
Well, I think that the disappointing part of the All-Star race is we have no idea where we stacked up.
Yeah.
To get in the wall in the lap 1, you pretty much can throw the rest of the weekend away. We have a lot of confidence in our mile-and-a-half program. We ran well at Las Vegas. We're well at Texas. We are going to be fast over there Sunday night. We know it. We know what kind of setup we need at the end of the race. Right now, we're really just tweaking on how we're going to get through the first 300 miles, how we're going to get through the sunshine. But when the sun goes down, we're going to have something for them.
Is it tough to plan? I mean, do you almost have to ignore the sunshine part of the race, I guess, and just plan for like a night race type deal?
You absolutely do. You need to be just good enough in the sun to keep yourself in contention. You can't throw it away completely if you get a lap down or get in an accident or have a car that's undrivable. So you just have to be good enough that the driver can make it through the day. Your pit stops don't have to be great. You want everything just to be really calm. If you just have an uneventful first 400 miles, it makes for a nice Sunday evening.
So if a Jeff Gordon fan's out there and the car's kind of running around 20th, I mean, not that one of your cars would run that bad, but you know what I'm saying. But they shouldn't panic, is what you're saying.
Don't panic. Be more concerned if you're the leader.
Okay.
If you're the leader for the first 200 miles, you better start working on something, because when the sun goes down, it's a whole different racetrack.
Okay. Burke Sarah is wondering, do you find that after a bad run, fans blame you for it more than they do blame Jeff?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I'm the head coach of the New York Yankees. If the Yankees don't go to the World Series, it's not Alex Rodriguez's fault. I can promise you that. So that's what you know when you sign up. That's how it is. I'm fine with it. They can blame me. I had an article the other day in Asker Illustrated, and they used one of my quotes for the cover. It said, "I know people don't like me, and I'm okay with that." And that's the truth. I know people don't like me. I'm fine if they don't like me. It's not a popularity contest. It's my job. As much as everybody wants it to be more than just my job, it's my job. It's what I do.
Yeah.
I have a lot of confidence in my ability. The team has a lot of confidence in me. I have a wife and 2 kids that support me, and more than any of that, my driver supports me through thick and thin. So that's fine. I'll take the blame. That's okay.
That's some thick skin right there.
Yeah. Oh well, it's thickened up.
Yeah.
If you do this long enough, you know the deal. Jeff and I's joke: our drivers win races and crew chiefs lose them.
Yeah.
And he laughs. He thinks that's a pretty good quote. So.
Another person here among this crowd here, it's getting bigger and bigger.
I know.
They want to know: do HMS teams share 100% of the info for the races? We always hear about how much sharing goes on. What is it? Is it like maxed out 100%?
Yeah, I mean, people, they don't even really the concept, people that can't even just fathom. It's no different than people asking me questions right here on the computer. We have a program that is live as the cars are on track. Every bit of our setup information, Jeff's comments, my comments, everything gets entered into that. So at any point over the whole weekend, or the whole week for that matter, I can pull up any racetrack, any driver, any moment, and see exactly where they're at with the car. And I think that's why you have seen Hendrick make it through the valleys. Every team runs well, but the ups and downs of the sport, Hendrick over the course of the last 5 or 10 years has stayed very consistent, and I believe that's because we have to share information. Chad is not always going to have the right setup. I'm not always going to have the right setup. Alan might struggle. And when that happens, it's very important for us to be able to share information to get our cars back on track.
So you're saying basically you can't hide something even if you wanted to, even if you're
the design isn't even
to.
there. The
Okay.
design isn't even there. For us, it's not only is it a concept to share information, it's a way of life. It's the only thing we know.
Flate 23, also from Internet Land, this little camera right here.
Internet land.
How close do you think the 24 team is to a win? You've been pretty close.
Man, I don't think you can get much closer without winning a race.
Yeah.
I feel we've had dominant race cars, a few races. There's others we haven't been very good. Dover and Bristol, we didn't have car enough to win, but I can't wait for the 600. It's our kind of race. We have a veteran driver. We're going to get through the day. We're going to stay real calm. And when the sun goes down, we're going to turn it on, and we want to make a statement over there. We want to let everybody know that we're not fooling around. That's a chase race. We want to put the right foot forward and get some bonus points. Running good's fine. Wins are what matter. We need some wins.
I don't know if you could tell, but as you're saying that, the wheels are turning in my head for my fantasy picks. Like, all right,
that's right.
Note
you
to
got to
self,
decide. You got to decide who you want to pick. If I had my fantasy team, I would put the 24 on my team this
all
weekend.
Right, everybody here heard that. I think
that's right. That's right. That's inside information.
Yeah. A lot of people. I was hoping somebody would ask this, and somebody has. Ben Cody's wondering, what is your secret on the weight loss? You have lost a ton of weight. What is the deal?
Man, I've learned that weight loss is really simple. It's calories in versus calories out. My diet wasn't very good to begin with, so it's just been a change of lifestyle. I've decided to eat a lot better, exercise a lot more. Our pit crew last year were good, but they weren't where they needed to be. So this winter, I decided the best way to spend time with my pit crew and show them how I believed in them was I got in the weight room with them.
Oh, really?
Every morning, 2 hours every day, we spent in the weight room or in the team center doing ladder drills and quick feet drills, and it just really got me motivated to see how hard those guys work. And I told myself the way I can really show that I'm committed is I want to make sure, this team's history has always been the second half of the year has never been as good. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure that my physical fitness, and was I getting tired the second half of the year? I want to make sure that wasn't it. So to take it out of the equation, I committed to a better lifestyle, a better diet, committed to exercise, and I feel great. It's really good to chase my 4- and 6-year-old around the house. I have a whole lot more energy. So
yeah, that's cool. I hear a lot of people say it. I mean, I don't know if you must hear people say it all the time, but people.
Yeah,
are like, wow,
no, it was a dramatic change, but change for the better. So it's good.
That's cool. Burke Sarah again is wondering, what is your favorite racetrack and why?
Well, there's a couple different ways to answer that. For racing, my favorite racetrack is probably Richmond. Mm-hmm. And I grew up around short tracks. It's a good 2-groove racetrack. It makes for an exciting race. I just love it. Love going there. It's a great place. I also like it. So that's probably my short track for side-by-side racing. But You know, the one place that is just really special to me and always has been is when we go to Indianapolis. I mean, that's when they start. You know, very few things anymore kind of give you goosebumps.
Yeah. But
when those cars come by, and it's not qualifying, it's not the race, it's the first lap of practice. When I go out on pit road for the first lap of practice and the first car comes by at speed, that right there, in my mind, that's what racing's all about. And then after that, it's weekend as usual. But that first lap is what it's all about.
So, are there any moments when you still find yourself getting excited about the races, like, you know, the flyover or anything like that? Or are you totally focused at that point where you're just like thinking about?
Yeah, no, I don't see. I can't remember any pre-races. I don't remember anything like that. By far, without a doubt, 4 hours every Sunday afternoon, best part of my job. There's nothing like it. There's when those 4 hours are over, win, lose, or draw, my wife gets mad at me sometimes because we'll be driving home from the race and she'll ask me questions and I'll be off into space. You get so engaged in those races that it takes a long time to get out of there.
Wow.
I mean, it's like you're mentally drained. I mean, every lap you want to know where you're at on fuel, where you're at on tires, what's the tire fall off, what's our pit strategy. If we pitted right now, how many tires would we take? Mm-hmm. You know, what's going to fix this, wedge or track bar or pit strategy, or maybe we just need track position, and you're going back through your note. You know, all the time you're working. You know, we look pretty calm up there sitting, but your brain never stops, and man, it's tiring.
Here's an interesting question. Loves HMS 48 says
24 fan.
Yeah, do you want me to change it to 24? I can easily type it in here. Yeah. I'm the owner of a team that competes at small hometown tracks. I was hoping you could give me some advice for me to tell my driver to keep him calm or focused during a race. What would you say? I would say that that's something you need to talk about on Monday before you ever get to the racetrack. That's what Jeff and I have learned. Once a driver is in the car, you have to understand that their sensors are on overload. They have more things coming at them than you ever will outside of the car. So the best thing you can do is you need to have a upfront, face-to-face conversation about if that really is an issue. You need to discuss it, make sure that driver can admit it's an issue, and then work on keywords or key phrases. You know, it's not an aggressive thing. Like, people don't realize when I talk to Jeff, I don't ever tell him to pay attention or to focus or to this. But there are certain things I tell him that we have discussed long beforehand, and he knows what I mean. You know, there are phrases I have that will stick between Jeff and I, and when I use them, that's a polite way of me saying, all right, man, your lap times have fallen off. Just, I got what I need about the car. I need you to work on your lap times. And he knows that. And then there are other things that he says to me that I know, okay, I know my lap times are fine, but I'm doing all I can do for you out here. And we have kind of just a communication level, because the way that our radios are scanned anymore, we don't really like to show our hand. We like to keep everything pretty calm. And Jeff is a very animated guy, very frustrated. I don't want to change that. That is who he is. I don't want him thinking about something else while he's driving. So you need to talk about it on Monday, but also don't confuse frustration with lack of effort. Some people just need to vent, and some people do a better job while they're screaming on the radio. I hear you often, compared to some of the other drivers, it seems like you are more positive or trying to keep Jeff up sometimes, and some other crew chiefs are more just quieter. Or is that part of the whole routine? Or it's a little bit of the routine. It's a little bit who I am. I mean, I'm a talkative guy. I mean, I get about double the words in a day than Chad ever thought about getting in. It's just who I am. I'm a colorful guy, and I think that's my personality. And I think it mixes well with Jeff because he's very determined, very focused, and I think sometimes what makes him one of the best race car drivers ever is he has tunnel vision. He doesn't know 50 laps from now. He only knows right now, what's in front of him right now. And that makes him a fabulous race car driver because he doesn't get distracted about things he doesn't need to worry about. He worries about this lap and then the next lap and then the next. So sometimes that's a bad thing, because if what's happening right now doesn't appear to be the best to him, it's very important for me to paint the picture of how it's going to work out okay, so he still believes in the program, and he believes in it. And we've been running real well because of it. Okay. This person is offsetting this remark by saying, I have faith in you. So I guess he wants to know. That's going to be a good question. I love the ones that come with like a preamble. Right. Don't hold this against me, but. Right, exactly. Okay. This person says, what about those restarts? Can you guys get a little bit stronger? We absolutely need to get better on the restarts. You know, those are the things that you have two choices. You can either let it happen, or you can be big boys, sit down on Monday and say, okay, what's the problem? And those are conversations we've had. Right now, every time we don't run well, I assume it's the car and he assumes it's him, and that's how we're going to get better. Is what can Jeff Gordon change to win a race? What could I have changed to win a race? What can I change in the car to make the restarts better? And I put it all on the table. He puts his all on the table. And, man, it's hard to be brutally honest with one another, but that's how we need to get better. And we absolutely need to get better on the restarts. I think our setups
are a little prone to be edgy in the back to start. The rear tires just aren't real secure. I think Jeff is a kind of momentum driver. A couple laps he gets going and then he's real good. Those aren't acceptable anymore. He knows he needs to work on his restarts, and as he works on them in practice, it's very important for me not to realize, I can't just say, oh, well, the car's right. He needs it. That's not the case. As he changes something, I might need to change something. And we go back and forth, and each week it's, we have to work on it. But we've got 13 more weeks of practice. Then the real fun starts at Loudon.
Well, this is the last question. We, for some reason, Miss Sprint Cup, the fans want to talk to her as well. So you're going to get bumped in a minute. But the last question is, speaking of until the chase comes up, Zachary Shooker, sorry if I messed your name up, my bad. What do you think your chances are for the championship this year?
I think it's great. I think if you look at the tracks we've already run in the chase, Texas is in the chase. We led the most laps. Martinsville, we had a chance to win. Phoenix, we had a chance to win on the green-white checker. We were running third before there. Talladega, flip a coin. Of all the tracks I see in the chase right now, I have Dover circled. Dover's the one that we have been to. We were not good enough to be at. We need to improve. We were not good enough to win. We haven't been to Loudon yet. We have to make sure we're good there. But if you go through the chase, your Kansases, your Texas, your Homestead, we can't wait. Our mile and a half program is so good. Even our short track program has been very good. That those we have a lot of confidence in. But it's not going to take one win and some good runs. It's going to take 3 or 4 wins in the chase, and we know that. And we're very, very aggressive. We might not win the chase, but it's not because we didn't come out with a lot of fireworks and try to win all the races we can.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for being here.
Appreciate everybody writing in. Some great questions.
Cool. And now we're going to switch out, and Miss Sprint Cup is going to come in. Yes, we're live here, folks. So we're just doing this kind of on the fly, doing the trifecta of guests today. Hello.
Hey, good. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Have you been enjoying the tweet up out there?
Yeah, there are a lot of people out here from all over. So I've met so many people from like Maryland, California, Iowa. So pretty cool stuff.
Good. Yeah. Like I said before, everybody watching at home, we're looking at like a ton of people right now. They're taking pictures of us even. So we're just going to pretend we're just going to go in our own little fishbowl here.
We're going to get in the zone.
Take the questions, right? But just a reminder, you're on ampupthearea.com, which is where the junior fans come up to amp up for the race every week.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. So, and they're putting questions in now. And let's see. Jay Backer is wondering, were you interested in racing before becoming Miss Sprint Cup?
Yes, I get that question a lot, actually. I'm born and raised in Charlotte, North Carolina, so I've been around NASCAR my whole life. My parents even live in the same house I grew up in. And before I was born, I heard stories about my grandfather listening to NASCAR back then on the radio, and his favorite driver was Junior Johnson. So it's really cool now that I've been able to interview him a few times, and I've told my mom about it, and she just freaks out, saying how if her dad, my grandfather, would have known that, he would have just have loved that. So yes, cool. I've always been a fan.
That's very cool. Let's see. Jay Belling is wondering, what other sports/teams do you like?
A huge fan of the Carolina Panthers. I actually have season tickets, even though I don't get to go to a lot of their games. I do sell them, but love the Carolina Panthers. Also go to the Bobcats game. So, and grew up liking the Redskins, but once the Carolina Panthers came to Charlotte, I veered towards them.
There are a lot of people that like that around the Charlotte area.
Yeah.
Andrew Westland is wondering, why all the different Miss Sprint Cups, you're the most recognizable. This is Monica Palumbo, by the way. This is your third year?
Yeah, I've been around for a while.
The other two are new.
Yeah.
So that's probably why you're more...
They decided to keep me around for one more year. Just kind of like that familiar face at the track. And we brought on 2 more this year just because, thank goodness, there's more for us to do. I think when we started the program, we just kind of wanted to get our feet wet and see if NASCAR fans would gravitate or accept us pretty much, and thank goodness for you guys that you have, and we've been able to do more, and we're doing stuff with NASCAR.com and Speed TV, and so we got 3 just to always have 2 at the track and be able to run around and do a lot of different things.
Cool. So. How many fire suits do you have?
Only 2.
Really?
Only 2. Last year, only 1. So can you imagine some days? 3 days in a row. Woo!
Have you tried any amp when you get hot on a hot day?
I have.
Yes. Okay.
Very, very good stuff. It gets me. I already have a lot of energy. So if I have one of these things, I'm kind of bouncing off the buildings.
Well, they'll be happy to hear that. That's good. Coco Flakes 69 is wondering, what is your favorite race and why?
Coco Flakes, I like that name. My favorite race. Okay, I have two, and they're completely different. I love Bristol, and we all know why. Bristol is just an amazing race, and I like Infineon.
Really?
It's a road course, obviously. We only hit 2 road course races with Watkins Glen and Infineon, and I like it just because it's different. The guys get to go right, and they get to go downhill and uphill, and it's I enjoy both of those races.
Okay. I'm sure you get asked this a lot, but this is a question I'd like to know the answer to as well. Burke Sarah is wondering, what is your favorite part of being Miss Sprint Cup? I mean, like, there's a lot of perks probably that come with it, I'm guessing. What's, like, the best thing?
There's so many things I can't really pick one. What's really cool about my job is we get to hang out with the race fans, and that's pretty much our job, is being the fans' friend on the inside. So majority of our day we're out in the midway with you guys, with the fans, and I've seen a lot of familiar faces over the years, so that's one of the highlights. I love being out there with all of y'all. And also just on pit road when the national anthem is being sung and there's a flyover, and I love that part of the day because everyone in the stands is quiet, everyone on pit road is quiet, and we kind of have this connection, and I love that moment of the day.
That's cool. Tish McGee is wondering, what did you do before becoming Miss Sprint Cup?
I actually was working for Motorsports Management International, and I was an MC out in the Midway for Bobby Labonte for his mobile marketing display. So I was involved before I got this job.
Did you go at every week? Was that a weekly thing?
Every weekend, yeah,
Wow.
out there.
So you're like, hey, come talk to Bobby
Come on
Labonte.
in, yeah, or come on
okay.
into the Dollar General mobile marketing.
Okay.
It was pretty fun.
That's cool. B. Jones is wondering, what do you do in your off time? The little off time you probably have.
Exactly. I have 2 pugs at home, Dallas and Banks, and my family's here in Charlotte, so I love just hanging out with my dogs, hanging out with family. I'm super laid back, so the most I ever get dressed up really is now when I have to do my hair. And but other than that, I'm super laid back. I love being on outdoors and that sort of thing. So.
Flate 23 is wanting to know what is next for you.
You know, I don't know. I started worrying about that at the beginning of the year, asking my mom, what am I going to do next year? And she told me just to try to live each day by day and enjoy this year and enjoy the moment. So I'm not trying to think about next year, but I would like to stay in the sport. So you guys should keep me around.
Somebody give her a call, or maybe one of these people here.
Yeah, maybe I could work at Hendrick. You never know.
There you go. By the way, I have a question about Victory Lane.
Okay.
You get completely doused, right? Don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Like the crew guys are just pouring stuff all over you.
It's a celebration.
Right. I'm sure it's a celebration for your hair and all that stuff. How do you, afterwards you're probably sticky, and what do you go take a shower right away, or what?
Well, if I'm
and
close by.
I didn't mean that like that. I know that sounds bad. I realized that when it came out of my mouth. That sounds bad. I didn't mean like that.
No. It's if I'm close by our hotel, absolutely. But for races like Talladega, after Victory Lane, we run to our car and we drive all the way home. So I'm sitting in the car or driving home with Gatorade and champagne, and my hair looks like, it's hard. It's gross. And I don't know if I should share the story, but one time last year at Bristol, I drove home after Victory Lane. I was exhausted. It was after the night race, so I didn't get home until 5:30 in the morning. I was too tired to take a shower. So the next morning I woke up and I had confetti all in my bed and everything. But it's great protein for the hair, let me tell you.
Have you ever gotten pulled over driving home because, let's say you reek of alcohol, you roll down the window, the officer comes up and he's like,
he wouldn't believe me.
Right, totally.
No, not yet. Haven't gotten pulled over yet.
Okay.
So.
K Junior Fan 88 is wondering, of all the Victory Lanes you've been in, which was the wildest?
It's a tough one. Last year when Jeff Gordon won in Texas, it was his first win in Texas, and obviously he's had a curse in Texas. He's never had luck there, and he finally won. So that race was wild. And let's see, that's probably a good one. And then Kevin Harvick recently, that was a pretty wild one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. They had a kind of a drought too.
Yeah, so that one's pretty crazy.
What has been the biggest change to your life since becoming Miss Sprint Cup?
Just being on the go all the time, really. I've really tried to stay the same person, and nothing. Just the travel, being on the road more, and staying busy. It's really about it.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite? Like, let's say all these people are going to go to a race. What's your favorite restaurant on the road? Like, because everybody in each city has these good little stops. Do you have any recommendations for people anywhere they should go?
Yeah, it's really cool you brought that up, because that's one of the things that we've been trying to do this year is go to all these kind of mom and pop places, privately owned restaurants around the track or kind of close by. Dover, Sambo's has the best crab cakes. They're amazing.
Yeah.
And then in where are we? Is it Martinsville? Martinsville, I believe. Raceway Grill. Martinsville?
Darlington?
Darlington,
yeah,
yes.
Right near the track.
Raceway
yes,
Grill.
I've been there.
We drove our golf cart there, and they've got amazing food there, and it's cheap, so it's awesome.
Cool. Well, Internet Land, thanks you for coming by. And
Thanks,
the people
Internet
here.
Land.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me, Jeff. Appreciate
now we're
it.
going to bring in our next guest, who's back here. If you want to come up, TJ.
TJ!
Figure out a way to get up. Just a reminder, you're on ampupthe88.com, which is where Junior Nation comes to amp up and follow TJ every week. How's it going?
Oh, it's good. It's going good.
TJ's a new dad, if you don't know. So have you been getting any sleep lately? Or?
Yeah, knock on wood, it's actually going pretty good so far. It's actually going really good. I get about 7-8 hours still.
Really?
That's a good thing or a bad thing, but
so junior fans don't have to worry about you being on the spotter stand and suddenly being like, ugh.
yeah, no, it's good. I mean, she's great so far. It's most exciting thing I've probably ever done, and it's going great.
Cool. Is there a rumor that she might be here, by the way?
Yeah, there is a rumor that she might be here, and I actually did bring her here to introduce her.
Let's see if we can.
See if I can get her out for a second so everybody can see her.
She's coming, folks. Just stay.
She's a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
So already.
You should see everybody's necks here craning and everything. We're hearing some alls already.
Over here. Get over here.
We're dressed down, so she's not flashing.
First thing is you got to keep her dressed down.
How old is she?
She is a week old today.
Wow, 1 week old.
Yep. She's a week old today.
Is this your first amp chat?
Her first amp chat? Yeah, this is
her
her first amp chat. But it's baby Madeline, and I named her after my grandma. So it's kind of cool. But she's a week old today, and she's definitely really cool to do, man. It's one of the most exciting things I've ever done. So.
What were you going to do if the baby came during a race? What did Junior tell you? I mean, was he like, I'll just get another spotter?
Well, I got out of practice at Dover. I had somebody filling in for me, and I had somebody do the practice for me at Lowe's, too, or Charlotte Motor Speedway. Friday, I had Jason Jarrett do it for me, one of my friends. So I've been just going to the races. But it was nerve-wracking. Dover was a little rough. It was a little scary in Dover. And this week, we were going to induce on Monday, and we never got that far. She came Wednesday, last week. So she's cool. Hopefully, I think she gets her looks from me. So,
is she going to be a driver?
No, I think I'm probably going to keep her away from the racetrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, she might try to keep her, definitely away from the racetrack.
All right.
But let me hand her back off
sure.
before we lose control.
She was pretty good. No crying. Nobody in the audience cried. That's good. All right. Now we'll take questions from the people in the internet land here. Let's see. Jake Backer is wondering, when's the last time you and Dale Jr. tested, and how did it go?
Tested.
Mm-hmm.
Everything always goes pretty good with us. I mean,
When's the last time didn't he just have a road course test or something?
Yeah, he went to the road course test, but I skipped that.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, there's nothing I can really do at a road course. I just sit in the corner and with a big umbrella and and a big glass of lemonade and just kind of watch him. It's kind of fun to watch on a road course, though. So that's why I like going to Sonoma, because I can sit up on top of the hill on the water tower, and I can see the whole track. And you can see guys, like a lot of them guys are not good road course drivers, so it's a lot of fun to watch. So.
You can tell who's...
Yeah. I wish TV doesn't show enough how much how much you can tell about some of them guys, but it's definitely a lot of fun. I like watching him on the road course. He drove a really good race last year at Sonoma, and we kind of got caught up, got hit from behind there with just a few laps to go. We were going to finish, I think, 6th, 7th, something like that, which is, we were going to great day to come back with, and we just kind of got turned there at the end. But he drove a great race, and he's actually become a pretty decent road course racer over the last handful of years. I know the first couple of years was a little rough, but he's better than he gives himself credit for at it. I know that.
Well, that kind of leads into this question here that I actually have no idea what the answer is, so I hope it's a good question. Keena88 is wondering, when you're at a road course, do you use inside, outside, or do you use left, right, or how do you tell them who's coming, because it depends on the turn, I guess.
I still use inside and outside because that's when he's turning into the corner, and whether it's a right-hander or a left-hander, inside is always going to be the inside of the corner. If he's turning right down to the first corner at the Watkins Glen and I say inside, he's going to know there's a guy inside of that corner, and it just transfers quicker that way. Right and left would probably get a little confusing. So I still just use inside or outside for that corner. It's probably a little harder for me to do that, but it transfers. He understands quicker if I do that. So we just still use that.
So I've heard some teams they use multiple spotters, sometimes up to like 3, I think, right? At road. Do you guys use multiple spotters?
Only at I'll try to get a little help at Watkins Glen because you can't see much of the track there. You kind of I can see all the way. I can see turn 10 from the front stretch up on top there. I can see turn 10. I can see off 11, and I can see all the way pretty much up through the S's. So the only parts I can't see are the back straightaway, the inner loop, and I can see the inner loop, but there's too many trees, and I got to use binoculars. And if something's happened there, there's no way I'd be able to tell them what was going on. The only thing I see is dust flying up, and then I lose them in the right hand or the long sweeping corner there. So, but I'll probably use 2 people there. We'll put someone back there in the inner loop, and Lance talks to him when we're on the front stretch, and I got him up through the S's and stuff. So,
Interesting. Junebugs fan 88 would like to know: have you ever beaten Dale Jr. at iRacing, and if so, how well does he take it when you beat him?
This is a question that's always going to be answered that is 50-50 because I know the real answer. I don't know, whatever, but it's we both have our races. It's just a lot of fun to get on there. We're both real competitive, and most of the time, I think we always end up wrecking with each other and stuff. So that might be mine.
There she goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard some crying.
Yeah. We have some really good races. We're both really competitive and both have a lot of fun doing it. And we're both ranked in the top 5, I believe, I think it's almost got 20,000 people on there now. So that's kind of an accomplishment to have.
So when you guys wreck each other or whatever, do you guys not talk or do you get mad?
Nah, I think we're past that. Maybe a handful of years ago it might have been like that for a day or two, but it's past that and stuff. We just have good races, man. We're both just there to have fun. So.
We have a question from one of you people here. It is, what is the most difficult track for you to spot at? Did somebody raise your hand? Who asked that? Anybody?
Anybody know what
Can't
the most
anyway
difficult track to spot is?
What is it?
Probably like Phoenix or Martinsville, maybe.
Really? Those?
Yeah, maybe a Bristol. Track, no? Yeah, but the worst part about it is stuff happens at Bristol so fast. It's a lot of times, if you're not looking a quarter track or a half track in front of you, you're going to be there in 6-7 seconds easily. So, and that's not a lot of time to really see a lot going on, tell him what's going on. So, probably there. And the way the spotter stand is at Phoenix, they're coming at you down the front tracks because we're in the middle of 1 and 2. I can see 1 and 2 great, and I can actually look down in the car and see his right arm. I can kind of tell what he's doing in there and stuff. But there. Bristol's pretty hard, and Martinsville just because you never really know. Guys will pull down to the inside like they're going to try to pass you, and they're not really going to do it. You don't really know whether they're going to shoot in there or not. So it's kind of you just got to know who you're racing and stuff. And
Bethany Baker is wondering, I guess since you used to spot for Brad Keselowski, she's wanting to know, do you still stay in contact with him?
Oh yeah. Me and Brad's one of my best friends. I still see him throughout the week quite a bit. We have a lot of the same interests too. We like to play the Xbox together, and we have a lot of same interests. So we just, I still see him quite a bit. He's become, it was kind of cool bringing Brad in and living next to him. We lived in a townhouse next to each other, and just kind of, his place was my place and vice versa and stuff, and he's still one of my best friends.
So what did you tell people when he would, when you were on the spotter stand and, he would get in some sort of controversy or something, did other spotters come to you and be like, hey, what the hell, man? Yeah?
Oh, yeah. We've been in we've had our run-ins there, but, I see both sides of it. I'm probably a little bit biased on it, but, there was a lot of run-ins that things were started, and Brad might have had the second hit, but people don't see what happened first, and I was there to see that stuff, and I know what happened, and I know how people have raced him and how they're going to race him and stuff, and of course I'm gonna stand up for that. So, but yeah, we've had our moments though. I've definitely been asked what he was thinking a handful of times, but it's just how it is.
When you go up on the roof, somebody's asking, when you go up to spot, what do you take with you? Because you're up there for the whole day, I guess. You're out in the sun, or the weather, whatever it is.
If it's going to be a really long day, I bring a little cooler that I got too, and I pack some ice packs in it and a couple of sandwiches or something, But I don't know. I got my radio bag, and it's got 2 headsets, about 5 radios, spare batteries, binoculars, maybe a ShamWow in case it rains, wipe off my seat and stuff. But
does that work, or is it just on the infomercial works?
No, it works pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it works. Umbrella. You better have an umbrella, and I got a little jacket that I tie up real tight in there and just stuff it in the bottom in case it starts raining real hard and stuff like that. But it's pretty heavy. It gets pretty heavy. It's good for me though to carry a backpack up the stairs and stuff like that.
Have you ever forgotten anything? Like, you get up there and you're like, oh crap, I forgot this, and you have to go beg for something.
The only thing, if you get in a hurry, sometimes you'll forget to throw a couple bottles of water in your bag or something like that, or I might forget an amp and have to have them run me one up so I don't get. These races are long. You're gonna have to have some sort of energy throughout the race.
All right. We hear the drivers a lot have like pre-race rituals or superstitions on race day. Fan number 88 is wondering, do you have any pre-race rituals?
A lot of times I just like to put my I like to just start plug in my iPhone and just listen to some music for a while. And there's some, I kind of like doing that. But I don't know. That's kind of the only pre-race ritual I really like. And there's that one thing that I always keep my eyes closed during the prayer and the national anthem and stuff like that. I just always try to keep I don't know why. It's just something that I do.
Dallas Junebug out here in Internet Land is wondering, is that Mike Davis wandering around with Gracie in the background?
Yeah, that's definitely Mike Davis and Gracie.
Yep, right back there.
Gracie's back there. She's got some good legs on her. She can get around. I think she's a little faster than him.
I see her walking back there. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. But.
She definitely gets away from him.
So out of all these fans here could have gone back there, and the one person that crashes the shot is Mike Davis.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's good for that type of stuff.
What's the biggest difference between spotting for the Cup and nationwide races?
I'd say the biggest difference is, the races, the cars drive, they race the same. When you get right behind somebody, you're going to get tight. Or, if someone gets right behind you, you're going to get loose. But you just got to know the drivers that you're racing against, You make your own luck in racing a lot, and if you can help the guy you're spotting for know who he's racing around and stuff like that, you can help him run a better race. So that's probably the main thing. A lot of people just think you're going up there and just telling them where the cars are, but there's a lot of guys that you just find out their characteristics, how they race and stuff, and you can translate that into the guy you're spotting for. He can make better decisions on the racetrack, and I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Okay. K Junior Fan 88 is wondering, as a spotter, how do you handle an upset driver? We've all the junior fans, anybody that scans junior has heard sometimes when he gets upset. How do you handle that as a spotter?
Well, that depends on if he's mad at me or mad at someone else. I don't know. You just always try to keep him calm. You don't try to let him get too wound up, because then he's not focusing on what he needs to be doing in the car. Sometimes I get mad. I get really mad sometimes too, but I don't, there's nothing good going to come out of me and him arguing on the radio, or sometimes he's just got a vent and that's just how it's going to be, So if I get mad, I usually get really quiet. So if he gets a little upset or something and you don't hear me for a little while, that probably means I got a little upset, because it's not going to, like I said, it's not going to do any good to argue with him or go against him. We just need to get through that, what's going on at the time, whether it's a driver he's mad at or the way his car's handling or what it is. We just need to get through that run. Like a good example would have been the All-Star race when we stayed out there for track position. I knew, we were going to have to stay up by the wall, run the high groove, and just hope them guys hold off as many of them as we could up there, So that's what I kept trying to do, is just, look, man, these guys got better tires. Some of them are going to get around us, but it's eventually going to even out. And hopefully we can maintain, hopefully we can end up 6 or 7 spots better when we come in next time, because it's so hard to pass now. And you've got to try stuff like that. So it's my job to keep him in his head that he can do that, and because he can, we can do stuff like that. So it's just my job to keep him pumped up like that and know that he can get the job done.
Did it work in the All-Star race?
We just had too long of a run, and we missed the handling a little bit, and the good thing about it is, we learned a lot about what we need to do this week, and we learned the lines that are going to come in. So hopefully, we'll go out there and get a good qualifying effort in. We had a really good draw for qualifying for the All-Star race. We were going out late, and then we ended up starting the race by how we draw. Finally we get a really good draw, and then it ends up biting us. So, but I mean, had we started up there, we could have probably run up there and had a better shot at it. It's just so hard to get through it. And the All-Star race is the best of the best a lot. So, I mean, it's just so hard to get around all them guys.
Yeah. Junior 88 country girls, wondering if you could tell, and I'm sure the people here might be interested to know too, the story of how you became a spotter for junior. Could you tell them that?
Yeah, I had a job down here working for MB2 Motorsports when I first moved to North Carolina in 2001, and I just started spotting there, and Grace is getting ready to make her way onto the set.
We almost had a baby crash.
Yeah, we did. But I got an opportunity to go and spot for Boris Said when he was running the 36 car, and just started doing that and realized that it was something, because I had raced before, that it was something that I was good at, and just kind of turned that into a full-time deal with Sterling. I spotted for a lot of people. I spotted for Matt Kenseth in the Busch race, Truex. I spotted for a lot of guys, and just kind of worked my way up, and I got an opportunity to spot for the 88 Nationwide car when they first ran their first race at Homestead, and Junior was sitting on the box, and that's really probably the first time that he's gotten a chance to listen to me spot. And the next morning I talked to him, and he had asked me if I'd be interested in working with him on it, and it took a year or so to play out, but once it did, he had asked me to go to this deal with him, and it just kind of happened like that. And it's a lot of fun. A lot of the drivers have spotters that they know and are personal friends with just because they trust them, and it's somebody they see on a regular basis, and they know how each other thinks and stuff, and there's no hard feelings and stuff after, there's a lot of emotions during the race that go on, guys yell, get mad and stuff like that, but it's good to know that if you know that person, that, and you've been around them enough, you just know how they think, and you don't take care of that stuff home with you.
Yeah. Well, one of the things on AmpUpThe88.com is people can see your Twitter feed, and if people see that, they know that Mike Davis, wherever he went, and you kind of go back and forth sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So this person wants to know, Dallas Junebug wants to know if you've done any pranks on Mike Davis or Dale Jr. lately.
It's been pretty quiet lately. I've been my time's been consumed waiting for the little one, and just that whole experience there will definitely change you. But we haven't had any too many. It's been kind of quiet, Me and Mike's had a couple things that have happened on the road there, rental car driving and stuff, going the wrong way on the highway and stuff like that.
Really?
And, yeah. I'll go ahead.
Who was driving?
Well, we were eating in Bristol, and we left the Cracker Barrel, and he thought he was going to be a race car driver, and I was just kind of laughing at him, and he stands on the gas and goes on the on-ramp. Well, he didn't even realize that he got back on the wrong way. So we're going, he thinks he's in the driver's seat, go over there, I did that corner real good. I'm like, hey, we're going the wrong way right now. But he's been doing good this year. He's parallel parked a couple times better than I ever thought he could.
Really?
And that's pretty good for him. Yeah. He's not a parallel parker, but he pulled off a couple of them this year.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but he's going to be the guest next week at 6 p.m. June 2nd. That's Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. We will have to plan something for that. That sounds like a great idea.
What dirt can people ask him if they don't, what should people ask him about?
I would.
He's not even paying attention.
Yeah, I might ask him a little bit about that and about his rental car driving abilities, and I think actually me and him have been pranking the pilots a lot.
Oh, really?
Pilots, yeah, we've been
pranking them. That
them.
wouldn't make me feel very safe.
Well, we actually we were sitting in the car at Darlington waiting for the track to open and stuff, and we kept calling the pilot, and he got his phone on voicemail, wouldn't even ring. So we called him and left him. We were going through my playlist and picking out any song that we could find that would be fitting for him. And we just recorded like 15 or 20 seconds of it, and he probably had 20 voicemails. And this last week I actually got one back from him, but we were crying laughing. I mean, there's nothing. And if you knew this guy, you know what we're dealing with. I mean, he's the pilot that gets off the plane and takes his work shirt off, and he has a wife beater shirt on and stuff, and he's kind of exactly like what you would see in Top Gun. I mean, he's kind of like that, but he's just a private jet guy.
Keena88 is wondering, she says, I think it's a her, sorry if it's not, I probably just screwed up. You were one of the best. Do you give advice to the other spotters? Like, does anybody ever come to you, especially like a new spotter or anything?
I mean, a little bit. You know, sometimes you just go and help people that are there for the first time, like, because you can't. I mean, if their car is going to be out there with your car, you're going to want to feel safe around them, you know, and the guys can make better decisions with the information you give them. So, you know, you go to places like Daytona and Talladega where the people are making qualifying runs, and you don't want to send a car out when another guy's coming off turn 4 because you're going to pull right out in front of them. It takes so long to get up to speed, you know. So you just kind of give people an idea like that and just kind of work with each other. But yeah, there's a little bit of common sense doesn't hurt, but no, we definitely help out. You know, we kind of all help each other.
Is it harder than it looks? Could I do it, or could somebody here be a spotter? I mean, could we just go up there and
anybody
do it?
Can spot. I mean, anybody can do it, but it helps if you have an understanding of what's going on. You know, like if you've driven before, or you know what it's like being in that position, or you know what it's like. You see these guys do a lot of crazy things with cars out there, and you definitely want to be able to tell your driver what's going on. You know, and I wouldn't recommend it for you.
For me,
I think writing and stuff is good for you.
All right, that's fair. I won't try. Last question we have time for. Jay Belling is wondering, will you be spotting for Dale Jr. in the 3 car at Daytona in July? And what do you think about that whole thing?
Oh, I think the car is great looking. You know, I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, every time Junior drives a Nationwide Series, he always brings me to spot with him. You know, that gives him the best chance to win, and he feels the most comfortable with it. So anytime he runs a Nationwide car, I hand off. You know, I'm spotting for anyone else in that, and just spot for him in it. But it's a lot of fun. I think we definitely got a really good chance at winning that race, and the car is definitely awesome looking. I wish we could run it a lot more. It's cool looking.
Cool. All right, well, thank you, TJ. Thank you, Miss Sprint Cup. Thank you, Steve Letarte. We did a whole trifecta of chats here. Thanks, everybody, for coming. And make sure you come back to ampup88.com next week, because Mike Davis, who's still running around chasing his baby girl, will be here at 6 p.m., June 2nd. That's next Wednesday, I think, at 6 p.m. So, again, keep coming back, keep joining us, and we're thankful that you did this time. So thanks a lot.